real nitty gritty shit. So my homeboy who I work with, he was like, bro, you should watch this podcast on JRE. Because at first, bro, I thought podcasts was stupid. I was like, bro, all you do is listen to people talk for like 2 to 3 hours. I was like, bro, that's dumb. But listening to this podcast, and Jeffrey Epstein was, Alex Jones was talking. He had Tim Dillon on too, who's another comedian. And Alex Jones was just laying down stuff, bro. Like he said how in this pedophile ring they will bring scientists onto this island, and there will be other famous people too, like presidents, FBI directors, CIA directors, Mossadian directors, scientists from like China, and they would corrupt the scientists, pretty much blackmail them. They would have like these underage girls who the scientists would get like super drunk. They would drug them, get super drunk, and they would take pictures of the scientists with these underage girls and use that as blackmail so they can corrupt the scientists in order to push like certain narratives and certain statements out there in the media. Like, hey, we need y'all to get behind this so-and-so agenda, because everything is about agenda and what's being said and what's being force-fed to the people. Like I said, it's all about controlling the narrative.
Those words.
Let me finish. Because you had 3 hours to talk, my boy. Let me finish.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Let me get to the nitty gritty, okay? So like I said, they will bring these scientists on, corrupt these scientists, blackmail these scientists to get certain narratives out there. And the thing that makes Joe Rogan so unique is he cannot be bought. CNN, NBSN, Yahoo News, any major mainstream corporate and media source is nothing but state-ran propaganda that is funded. Like these news stations and all this is all like they make their money off of advertisement and investments. And for instance, Pfizer. So Pfizer, came out with this bullshit ass vaccine. They were paying all these mainstream newscasts billions of dollars in order to push the vaccine. Now the newscasts couldn't say anything negative about the vaccine because they would lose their funding.
The newscast did. That's not true. I'm sorry, Mama. I'm gonna have to stop you there, bro. But it's not true.
Let me finish because you're not letting me get to my point, bro. It is true, bro. You can see compilations and videos where Pfizer specifically sponsored these mainstream corporate media. Brought to you by Pfizer. They sponsored the Super Bowl. They sponsor every CNN, Fox News program, daily program. So they cannot come out with negative stuff. Like the whole thing with ivermectin, right? Remember, like ivermectin was supposed to be like this major horse paste medication that they try to bring forward, but it actually turns out that ivermectin was given to 4 billion people since its inception in like the 1970s, which was used to cure this parasite. So in Africa, like in these African villages, they were drinking like this runoff water that had parasites in it. This doctor came up with the medication ivermectin that helped cure the parasites. Is one of the World Health Organization top 10 quintessential medications ever invented by mankind, and it's won a Nobel Peace Prize. But yet, when all this time during the pandemic, when ivermectin was brought to forward as like this solution, not the only solution, because you had to add other stuff to it. But when it was brought up to the solution before we had the vaccine, it was demonized. It was thrown out as horse dewormer.
Yeah, because it's a horse dewormer. It gets rid of parasites. That's literally what it is. It is anti-parasitic. That's what it's for. Ain't like even if you didn't want to relegate it to even if you didn't want it to relegate it to to veterinary medicine, what it does is get rid of parasites. So if you had parasites and you took
Tylenol is a veterinary medicine in certain doses and quantities. It's the same thing with ivermectin. It's not solely.
But I'm not saying that it's just for horses. I'm not saying
veterinary medicine.
I'm not saying that the problem is that it was just for horses. I'm saying that it wasn't like it couldn't get rid of COVID because it is a dewormer. It is anti-parasitic. COVID is a virus. It is not a parasite. No, it did not. If you have to use have to use ivermectin with other stuff, then the ivermectin isn't what's working. If you have to use
it was an agent to introduce it into the body. That's why you had ivermectin. You had hydrochloric chloroquine. You had it really is. I mean, it really is funny that agents put together to introduce into the body to help fight off COVID,
and
to help boost the immune system.
Or those people took all that stuff, and then they took the stuff that actually worked.
Trump, remember, Donald Trump had caught COVID before the vaccine was healed.
Donald Trump, the president.
He was given this medication.
He was given
this medication by doctors. They had the solution to fight COVID.
Donald Trump was given the best.
Was just generic.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but no, that is not true. You can't just say he was given this and that's what worked. No. You can't just walk past that because you're looking at that.
I'm not walking past it because it's
true. But that's exactly my thing. It's like you're sitting here and going, it's true. So we just leave it at that. It's not. It's not true. Even in the case of Donald Trump, it's not true. Like, yes, Donald Trump might have been given hydrochloric. He might. I know. I followed it. I followed it all this time. I know exactly what happened. They didn't give Donald Trump.
Look up what Donald Trump.
They did not give Donald Trump hydrochloroquine and then give him ivermectin, and he immediately got better. No, he didn't. No, he did not. I'm sorry.
Hold on real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. That is not true. They did not give the president.
We had an impasse right now.
Yeah.
I'm pulling
up right now.
Please pull it up from reputable source because I don't know where you're pulling that from. They did not give the president.
This is my point. I'm trying to figure out who said that. He did it.
Donald Trump wouldn't tell you that's all he took.
Look.
Where are you pulling this from?
Remember when Joe Rogan had contracted COVID, and CNN ran the news story that Joe Rogan took horse dewormer.
Joe Rogan himself told you what he took. No, because you're going.
Exactly.
Yes, and what did he say? What did he say? Yes.
He took zinc.
Mm-hmm.
He took ivermectin.
Mm-hmm.
He took monoclonal antibodies.
Exactly. Monoclonal antibodies, the things that actually work against antiviruses. That's what he took. He took experimental monoclonal antibodies. You don't take it, but if he took it with ivermectin, that doesn't mean that it was the ivermectin that worked.
Ivermectin.
So he took. That's like me saying. That's like me saying I had a cold.
COVID before the vaccine was ever released.
That's like me saying
we know the vaccine cannot.
So the people who just took ivermectin, why didn't they get better?
I never said they just took ivermectin.
Okay, so the people who took monoclonal antibodies and that was it, why did they get better? That's like me saying
included with their monoclonal antibodies.
That's like me saying, yo, I had really bad pain. So I took a leave and I ate some applesauce. So that applesauce must have been that's work. No, they did not. No, they did not. You have so many.
They had zinc. They had other medication included with the monoclonal antibodies, bro.
So this is the thing. So why is ivermectin was so focused on rather than the antibodies?
Exactly, because it was the one medication out of the whole list that they could frame as some conspiracy theory. It was the only medication.
There's no conspiracy surrounding it.
No, I'm saying on Joe Rogan's side. Like why was he pushing ivermectin so hard?
I'm about to tell you
antibodies.
I'm about to tell you because it was the one medication that CNN pulled out from. He said a whole list, bro. He said 11. Like he listed out a whole list of other medications that he took, they decided to pour ivermectin because it has veterinary usages.
They didn't focus on ivermectin. They didn't focus on ivermectin because Joe Rogan said he took it. The narrative for ivermectin was way before Joe Rogan got sick. That's why he took it. He took ivermectin because he heard about it. He didn't take it, and they said, "Oh, you took ivermectin." They focused on that. That's not what happened.
Ivermectin before that.
That's not what happened. He took ivermectin because they were going around saying this is a cure.
Bro, I can pull up the CNN video where they specifically pulled out ivermectin.
Joe Rogan did not get the idea for ivermectin from nowhere. Every single no, he did not. That is a lie. No, he did not. They were talking about ivermectin for months, way before that man got sick.
Reggie, I'm about to send you the video.
And even then, it's wild. It's wild to think that CNN will focus on that because Joe Rogan said so. We have no reason to believe that man was a credible source, but you want to believe that CNN did? No.
I'm about to send you the video. I'm about to send Reggie the video, and this gonna squash all this shit.
Where did Joe Rogan get the idea to take ivermectin? Where did he get that from? Tell me that.
No, he went to a doctor.
A doctor told him to take ivermectin.
No, the doctor prescribed him ivermectin. I'm about to show you.
A doctor prescribed him horse dewormer.
I'm about to
for a virus.
Bro, ivermectin is not just
a doctor prescribed him ivermectin. See, and that's why I know you're getting this. That's why I know you're getting this from nowhere. You do not get prescribed. No. We've been sitting here, we've been talking all this time, but you're going outside of the bounds of reality now. If he wanted to take ivermectin, he didn't need a prescription for that. I can go to ivermectin right now, and I can buy it from a pet store. He didn't need a prescription for that. There is no human. There's no human drug called ivermectin. He would have had to go to a store, a pet store,
look up
and go and get that. You don't get prescribed that.
Go ahead.
So if he took ivermectin, he bought ivermectin from a veterinary shop.
No, he didn't. Go ahead. I'm about to pull up the video right now. But look, ivermectin has won a Nobel Peace Prize for the uses in human cases
as a dewormer. As an anti-parasitic. COVID is not a parasite. COVID is a virus. That's a whole different type of sickness. You can't take ivermectin for COVID. It does not cure it.
Let me finish because
so what?
Change around.
Why do you keep going over that? Like that's verifiable proof. You can look up the white pages for ivermectin and it would show you this is specifically what it's for. Why do you keep glossing over that like that doesn't matter? Ivermectin.
My turn. Go ahead. I'm just waiting on my turn.
Go ahead. Please explain.
Because you can change up the chemical components and use it for a very natural purpose, a virus purpose. It is
that would make it a different drug. That would no longer make it ivermectin.
Let me finish, bro. You can use it for parasitical purpose, but you can change around the chemical components and use it for a virus purpose. That's why they were studying.
So then it is not ivermectin if they change. No, I'm sorry because you keep walking over that like that's normal.
I haven't finished my point.
I'm stopping you right there, and I'm saying even right there, you don't have to finish your point because that is not true.
Let him finish.
My point isn't complete.
I'm about to say he's trying to. Yeah, let him finish his point.
I have to make a concise point because he just think I'm walking over this. I'm not walking over this. I haven't denied ivermectin is a parasitical medication. But what I am saying is they want to experiment with ivermectin, change like all pharmaceutical medications. They can add chemical molecules, they can take away chemical molecules, and it can change the structure of it, and it can be used for different purposes. They were looking at a cheaper and effective way because remember, COVID happened in 2021. The vaccine didn't come out until like 2022. So it was like a whole year. Everybody was catching COVID, getting COVID. But yet there were already health organizations already working on something that can possibly be used to help preemptively take some type of medication to help protect you against the COVID viruses. And they had these chemical components. The reason why I brought up the whole Donald Trump story, because Donald Trump had caught COVID before a vaccine was even introduced, and he went to the hospital and they gave him a multitude of
That's not true.
Oh my god!
No, I'm
bro.
sorry. But
Let me finish my point.
You're throwing a lot on the plate. I am sorry. I'm sorry. You're throwing a lot on the plate, and I'm sorry to say none of what you're saying is true. It's going to be hard to keep hold of this, but I can't disprove all of this at once because you're throwing a lot out there that is not true.
Look. This is what we're gonna do. Everything I say, you can write it down because, bro, we got nothing but time.
How about you make a point and I disprove the point in that moment? How about that?
Because you're just talking over me. Because you can't cut me off because I haven't made a complete statement.
You've made a lot of statements, and a lot of them, almost all of them, are not true.
And I'm still not finished.
So you're putting a whole bunch of untrue statements out there, and you're coming at this from a place of authority and going, "This is the truth," but none of it is.
And I'm still not finished because I haven't connected to why the people listen to Joe Rogan.
If you're going off of wrong information, then we're already on a shaky basis.
Bro, like I said, you can look this up, Google it.
I know what you're going to say. I've heard about it forever. And I can listen to what you're saying right now and tell you why you're wrong. I can fact check. I can actually fact check you on one point right now. I can actually I can call you wrong on one point right now. No.
Why are you doing that? Let me finish. While you doing that, let me finish. You can send the information to Reggie.
No, I'm not sending. I know the information. I can say it right here. So you're just going to keep saying wrong information. You're just going to keep saying wrong stuff.
We can't have a healthy dialogue.
Okay, so you make a point. I'll disprove that point. How about that?
Can we tone it down? A little?
Let's get back to
yeah.
Okay, no. You're the officiator. You're the moderator.
It's on you.
Yeah. Let me tone it down. Look. I'm sorry for taking it to that level with you, okay? From this point on, we can have a mutual agreement, right? Right, my brother? And anything I say, you can bring it up, Google fact check me. We can go over
I don't need to Google to fact check you. I know what you're saying is wrong. So there's verifiable proof for what you say. But I have to look up that it's wrong. I know for a fact that you're absolutely wrong about. I know for a fact that you're absolutely wrong about drugs. If you change the API on a drug, that's a different drug. So what you said about ivermectin just changes some molecules, that was wrong. You don't just change you don't change the active pharmaceutical ingredient in a drug, and it's still like considered the same drug.
I said they were trying to experiment with ivermectin. They seen how good of a parasitical medication it is, and then I brought up.
They did plenty of experiments with ivermectin.
Oh my god!
You didn't bring that up. You didn't bring up the fact that those came from. You didn't bring up.
The fact that finish. You're not letting me finish talking, bro.
Let him finish his point.
I'm sorry, but no. But like on the basis that this is coming from, you're saying a lot of wrong information. You're saying a lot of wrong stuff, and then going fact check me on it.
Okay,
let him finish out a thought first, because
there have been a bunch of thoughts and they've all been wrong.
If I only get 50% of my information out, it's gonna be wrong because I'm not bringing the whole thing. You keep interjecting and just cutting me off and trying to stop me. It's gonna sound wrong.
I say just let him rap. Let him finish what he gotta say, because what he left out with ivermectin, they were taking it.
Yeah.
And then the doctor prescribed him. They took that. He didn't prescribe him ivermectin, correct? This was something else that he used ivermectin as like a root, and then they changed the chemical compound to something else, or what? What would
No. So he pretty much took a cocktail. I'm trying to find a video. He pretty much took so this when he tests positive.
No. Yeah, you said he took ivermectin, like some zinc and some other stuff. And the antibody stuff. But
I got the video right here. I'm about to send it to you on. I'm about to send it to you on IG.
But you said. But after that, you said that.
Okay. Yeah. So it was the one medication out of all the medication that he took, and he listed that they can demonize and use against to spread the information to people. Rolling Stone came out with an article that said in Oklahoma that there were so many people being rushed to the hospital for overdosing on ivermectin, which the article turned out to be 100% false. They said it was people with there were people who had gunshot wounds who couldn't see emergency care because there were so many people overdosing on ivermectin. That was 100% false. Rolling Stone ran this article. Ivermectin was one of the multitude of medications that Joe Rogan took, that other people took, that was prescribed by doctors. Matter of fact, Joe Rogan had he had the guy who invented 6 patents on the COVID because it's not a vaccine, it's gene therapy. He had the guy who invented 6 patents on the new gene therapy medication. Because look, gene therapy is what the whole COVID vaccine was supposed to do. It was supposed to go into your bodies and create spike protein. These spike proteins was supposed to cause the COVID virus from not latching on to the blood cell and multiplying. That's what gene therapy was coming on. He had the guy who invented.
That has nothing to do with your genes. That is not gene therapy.
God,
that is not what that is.
Oh my God, bro. That's what the gene therapy was. It was to create spike proteins.
The spike proteins. Proteins have nothing to do with gene therapy. Nothing to do with gene therapy.
Developing genes like spike proteins.
Spike proteins help you fight off viruses. That has nothing to do with gene therapy.
The proteins they get red.
Yeah. By the meshes mRNA. Yeah. It was the meshes mRNA.
It doesn't inherently it doesn't change your genes inside you or anything. It just
no. It was sending a message through the meshes mRNA to pretty much tell the cell to develop spike proteins so the COVID vaccine wouldn't latch on.
Yes, that is how you fight a virus.
But
yeah. That's not. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. But the thing about the vaccine was it wasn't safe and effective, as they said. It was never tested on a huge population of people. And I thought he was about to.
No, go ahead. You got it, bro. You got it.
Yeah, I thought he was about to interrupt me. But the waning effect, the message that was put forward that is once you take the vaccine, you were not going to contract COVID. You weren't going to be able to spread COVID, and it was the only way out of the pandemic, which turned out to be 100% false.
Based on what?
Based on all the information that has came out.
All the information that's come out.
If you take the COVID vaccine,
all the information that's come out is supported that. Really,
you can still contract.
No one's ever said. No one's ever said any different. No one's ever. No. No, I'm sorry. That's not what a vaccine is. A vaccine does not keep you from catching COVID. That's not what it is. A vaccine, if you take a vaccine, that will actually give you COVID. It'll give your body the ability to fight that off, but that doesn't keep you from catching it. When you get the flu vaccine every year, that doesn't stop you from catching the flu. That's why you have to get it every year.
But don't we all know that the vaccine it's not an end all be all. It's to help your body.
No vaccine is.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying, don't we all agree on that, right?
Yeah. We all agree, but that's what we'll push forth for the COVID vaccine. That's why Joe Rogan was hit with
push forth by whom?
But I'm gonna say this though. But the thing is that thing that we all know that vaccines aren't the end all be all. How does the government saying, yeah, this is how the vaccine works when no vaccine has worked that way ever?
We're kind of veering off the point here. It's like that those are the words that came from Joe Rogan or people in that realm. That was a narrative that was coming out about vaccines. That's not even true in reality. So who the hell were you going to convince with that?
Yeah, I'm saying, that's not true at all. Yeah. So what?
Wait.
Like the idea that you can't.
What was that?
What was what?
What?
Because there's videos of Joe Biden, Rachel Maddow, the news anchor on MSNBC,
so
saying specifically.
So what?
You were to
they're wrong.
So what? They can be wrong. They are not subject matter experts. But I'm not listening to them. But I don't have to listen to them. And Joe Rogan isn't diametrically opposed to that. So he's speaking the truth. No. We've been speaking on this for a while now.
So now I can tie this back into Joe Rogan and why he's for the people, because he wasn't saying none of this false information. He was demonized for his point. Pushing
Joe
forward.
Rogan doesn't have to be saying the same thing that they're saying to still be wrong. He can be saying exactly opposite of what they're saying and still be dead ass wrong. That doesn't mean he's for the people. That means he's just as much of a liar, just on the opposite end. None of them are subject matter experts, but we're supposed to listen to him because somebody else who wasn't a subject matter expert said something different?
No. Joe Biden.
Yeah.
See, Joe Biden was also diametrically. He was also diametrically opposed. No. See, we've done a lot of talking around this point, but that's exactly the thing. It's like we could have listened to the experts. The experts were saying a lot. They were saying a lot, but nobody did, including Joe Rogan.
Had the experts on his
no,
podcast.
You can't just pull somebody onto your show and call them experts. When you have people who are actually in that room, I'm sorry. I'm stopping you there. You said a lot. You have said a lot, and I have got a lot. You sending me information from somebody does not make them a credible expert.
Bro,
them even speaking about it on Joe Rogan's show does not make them a credible expert. If we've got a multitude of people, multiple people in the same field across the world, not just in this nation, not just under the thumb of this government, across the world, saying one thing, and we've got Joe Rogan saying something different, why the hell would I listen to him?
Tyson, Kurt, where's it at?
I'm gonna let you do your research real quick, and I'm gonna talk in between.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I think the part where we're all like confused.
I'm not.
Well, like I'm not confused. The thing I'm not confused. I'm not discrediting all of the research that the doctors have done.
Yeah,
based on like a couple of doctors that say like, oh, this is because the thing is like when you say that someone goes out and they say that the vaccine, this is going to cure when you take this vaccine, all of this is fixed pretty much.
You've already started on the wrong basis. That's already a lot.
You're already on the wrong foot. You're already on the wrong foot. So
let me interject this point.
Of course.
And that was my point. And that was my point. Remember, I brought up the point that there was state-ran propaganda.
Also, I'm sorry. You can't just say that. You cannot just say that. State-ran propaganda does not mean a goddamn thing in this context. You can't look at private networks, networks, and say state-run propaganda. Fox News and CNN are the same state-run propaganda. Really?
And I brought up
Fox News run by Rupert Murdoch. CNN run by some other fucker. That's state-run propaganda. You are full of it. You are. I'm sorry. No, it is not.
It's state-ran propaganda.
Fox News is a private company run by the worst motherfucker in the world. We know who it is. He is not run by the state. Joe Biden would not be able to go to Rupert Murdoch and say, hey, run my fucking agenda. No, he wouldn't. It is not state-run. It is plainly conservative. So it sure as hell couldn't be state-run on a whole basis. No, it couldn't. CNN, same thing. Not state-run. NPR is federally funded. That does not mean state-run. The church that you can go to might be federally funded. That doesn't mean that it's state-run. That does not mean state-run. That does not mean state-run. There's so much shit that is federally funded. HEB is fucking federally funded. You think they're state-run?
Yes, because they can't come up with certain narratives by themselves, or unless they will lose their funding. That's what.
That is not what state-run means. That is not what state-run means. You can say that about anything, any sort of sponsor for any sort of business. That is not what state-run means. They're like by definition, they cannot be state-run. Like we have, if it was state-run, if it was a government entity, they wouldn't have any fucking reason to pay it because it's owned by the government. If the government had its own profit, it's federally funded. Federally funded means funded by the federal government.
Are you serious?
I absolutely do not. I absolutely do not think that because I know how businesses run. You know how businesses run.
These businesses federal funded.
The U.S. government. The U.S. government is paying these people gobs of money. Really?
They have to speak the narrative of the government.
See, it's funny. It's funny because NPR has been NPR has been left leaning for like a while now. CNN has been left leaning for a while now. Fox has been right leaning. All of these are run by the same government, the same state government that could be left or right depending on the year. Really?
Yes.
Bullshit.
Yes, exactly.
How does that make sense to you? How does that make sense to you? You keep saying these words. I don't think you know what they mean. Federally funded does not mean run by the state. That's not the same thing. If it had to be federally funded, why the fuck would it be state run? If it was state, that doesn't mean you keep saying that like there's some sort of connection. You keep saying that like there's some sort of connection. What's the connection?
They're getting money from the state.
If it was state run, why would they need to tell you that they were federally funded? The Department of State doesn't need to say we are a federally funded agency. We know that is the Department of State. The department, like any sort of like Department of Agriculture, the fucking FDA doesn't have to say we're federally funded FDA because they're the Food and Drug Administration of the United States of America. So why the fuck doesn't HEB go we're HEB of the United States of America? Why the fuck doesn't NPR go we're NPR of the United States of America? Federally funded does not mean state run. There's so much shit that's federally funded.
Hold up, let's keep this PG, bro, because you using like some harsh language, man.
It wasn't even PG before this, but I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry. That's not a rebuttal. That's not a rebuttal. You can say that all you want to, but what you're saying because you're saying a bunch of wrong stuff and you're going it makes sense.
Here we go right here.
Give me the source.
Dr. Robert Malone.
Give me the source.
Dr. Robert Malone.
Dr. Robert Malone is not a source.
Oh my God.
Where are you reading this from?
Dr. Robert Malone is an inventor.
Where are you reading this from?
Dr. Robert Malone.
You can be reading this. You can be reading this off the toilet paper that somebody used to wipe their ass. Where are you reading this from? You can't just say you're just saying words. Where are you reading this from?
Dr. Robert Malone is the inventor of 9 original mRNA vaccine patents, which was originally filed in 1989. Including both the idea of the mRNA vaccine and the original proof of principle experiments and RNA transfection. Dr. Malone has close to 100 peer-reviewed publications, which has been cited over 12,000 times. Since January 2020, Dr. Robert Malone has been a leading large team focused on clinical research design and drug development, computer modeling and mechanics of actions, and repurposing drugs for the treatment of COVID-19. Dr. Robert Malone is the medical director of the Unity Project, a group of 300 organizers across the U.S. straining from mandated COVID vaccines for children. He is also the president of the Global COVID Summit and the organization over 16,000 doctors, scientists, committees to speak the truth of power about COVID pandemic research and treatment.
I ask you again, where are you reading this from? Because once again, you just read off words. I have no idea whether or not you made those words up or not, and that most certainly wouldn't be a credible source. Where are you reading this from? Where are you getting this information? Oh, did Dr. Robert Malone write this himself? Because that sure as fuck wouldn't be a credible source. Where are you getting this information from? Oh, what? No. The burden. No, I'm sorry. The burden. No. You're reading this out as if this is the truth. The burden of proof is on your hands. You're reading this out like this is the truth. You can't just you can't just say some shit and go look it up. It's out there. No, you pulled that source. I know. No. I'm sorry. I am what? Apparently, we're just working off this basis that we can just say shit and that makes it true. That's not the case.
You're getting very disrespectful.
You keep saying that, but it's not a rebuttal. Bro. You keep saying that, but it's not a rebuttal.
Bro, it's my rebuttal.
You have not proven a single thing that you have said thus far. You've just read stuff off. You have not proven you've not provided a critical. Yes, I am just a little bit agitated. Yes, yes, just a little bit. Yeah, because you
simple discussion.
This is that's the thing. That's the thing. I can sit here. I can sit here and say in the calmest of voices and say that everything that you said is wrong. That hasn't changed your mind. No. You pulled that up. Who is Dr. Robert Malone? Who is Dr. Where is that information coming from? Is that coming from Dr. Robert Malone's own resume? Because that doesn't tell me anything.
look up the information, bro.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, but if this is where this conversation is going to go, we're going to stop it right here because you're not even trying to prove your point. You're just reading shit off now. You're just reading shit off now. You have gotten a lot through. You have gotten that does not tell me anything. I don't know who you are. I don't know who the person next door is. They can tell me anything. You have not provided me you have not provided me a source. You have not provided me a credible source. You haven't even provided me where that came from. You could have just read that off of some piece of paper that you found off the street. That doesn't make it a credible source.
Wait, hold on, because I'm on Google right now and I'm trying to look up Dr.
No.
Look up Dr. Robert Malone.
Yeah, I looked him up and
Robert Malone, MD.
All I see is vaccine scientist, vaccine skeptic. I see
vaccine skeptic?
Yeah. I see the
Dr. Robert Malone is the vaccine skeptic.
Yes. Even though
and you're expecting me to believe that he is a credible source. Vaccines have been proven to work, but he is a vaccine skeptic. So I'm supposed to believe that he's a credible source.
Bro, he is not a vaccine skeptic.
I'm sorry. Reggie just read that offline, just like you read wherever you were going off offline.
Yes.
This is from
so he can read that online. And I'm supposed to believe that that's true, but everything that you just read, I'm supposed to take that at your word. Why?
Because Dr. Robert Malone, when COVID was going on, Dr. Robert Malone lost his Twitter account. And lost his
why did he lose his Twitter? Why did he lose those things?
Because of the information he was pushing went against the mainstream narrative.
Okay, so Twitter and YouTube are state-run media as well?
Before Elon Musk took over Twitter, Twitter was censoring people, and they were in cahoots with the FBI. The Twitter files.
Where'd you get that information from?
The Twitter files released all this information.
Oh, the Twitter files is a credible source now.
That Twitter was in Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube were in bed with the FBI.
Why do we believe that? Why do we believe that, but nothing else?
They got together,
colluded
to make sure that the only narrative that was pushed out during the pandemic was take the vaccine.
Why?
On the way. Because
no. Why? Not why is that narrative out there? Why would Twitter agree to that? Why would YouTube agree to that? Oh, am I supposed to believe that they're state-funded media as well?
They're not state-funded media.
Okay, so tell me why.
They were used as propaganda machines to push out.
Okay, so
narrative.
Here we have another narrative of a private company being used as the propaganda machine for a state that does not control them.
Because they were paid by pharmaceutical companies. The CEO at Twitter at the time, who was Jack Dorsey, the person underneath him was Vijay something. They were paid by the pharmaceutical companies who made $330 billion off of the vaccine alone.
Yeah, pharmaceutical companies came up with a vaccine during a pandemic and made a lot of money off of it. That doesn't tell me shit.
Yes.
That doesn't tell me anything.
And they used this to
if ivermectin was proven to be true.
To fuel the machine.
What do those words mean?
Even more money. Because if the narrative came out that the vaccine was not what it was thought to be, people would have been hesitant to take the vaccine. They needed all the good possible.
Once again, why
promotion?
Why
put it forward?
I mean, it's
all the good possible promotion put forward to help fund more money.
I guess it was very convenient then. That
they were so effective with censoring people who spoke out about the vaccine.
What does that mean? You are saying stuff. What does this mean? You are saying
Malone, who came out with 9 patents since 1898. He's been working on mRNA gene therapy.
So
they labeled this man a vaccine.
Who labeled this man?
Denier.
Who Who did?
Because they
who labeled this man a vaccine expert?
They didn't want people. He's worked on it himself. He's published over 100 journals.
Why is he a credible source? Why is he a credible source? You keep talking over that. Why is he a credible source? You did not explain a goddamn thing. No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you did not. You read off a bunch of stuff. What you were doing just now was reading off a bunch of stuff. You did not explain why he was credible sources.
This is what makes him an expert.
Go ahead. Read the same exact thing that you just did.
100 peer.
What does peer review mean? What does peer review mean?
Peer review.
What does peer review mean?
Publications.
Were they peer approved? What does peer review mean?
Peer review and cited 12,000 times.
What does that mean? They are not approved. They are not verified. They are not validated. They're not even considered.
Over 100.
What does that mean? You keep saying that like that, so like that's just something.
And cited 12,000 times.
What does that mean? Firstly, why would we have any reason to believe? Why would we have?
And he's been working on this since 1989.
What? That mean? You keep saying stuff. What does any of this stuff mean? What does any of this stuff mean?
Experiments. Even that baby child. That's Dr. Robert Malone. Okay. Let's see. This down. Okay.
I'm still waiting on the. I'm trying to figure out about Joe Rogan.
We haven't even gotten to an area where we can
Yeah.
Wait. We have
gotten to a lot of wrong places. Yes, like a lot of like factually wrong places, and a lot of like speculation at best. No. See, I've been saying this. No. See,
I'm wrong. You haven't proved me wrong at all. You haven't brought up any information.
You haven't proven yourself right. You haven't pulled up any credible.
I brought the information. You just refused to.
No, you are reading stuff. You are reading stuff off. You are reading stuff off.
Wait, hold on.
You're just denying it.
You damn Skippy, I'm denying it because it's wrong. It is wrong. I can prove that it's wrong. You can go online and prove that it's wrong.
By your word alone.
But I'm not saying by my word alone. I am saying not by my word alone.
Okay. This is Dr. Peter A. McCall.
I'm not doing this. I'm sorry. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. No. Call an impasse on this. I'm not doing this.
Who has testified before
Reg, I'm Reg. I'm talking to you. Call an impasse on this.
State regarding the treatment of COVID-19
call an impasse on
ongoing pandemic. This is Dr. Peter McCall.
Wait, so hold on. T said that you asked him to do something. You told him to prove how you were wrong.
The first source that you pulled up, Reginald. The first source that you.
I'm wrong.
So you have to. So start off. So T, start off where he went wrong, and
he went wrong in a lot of places. But I actually I can start off. I can't. But that's the thing. We can go one by one. See, that's the thing. That's what I was trying to do this entire time. You can see. Listen. Look. Okay. I can actually prove it to you, Reginald. The thing that you just looked up online. The thing that you just looked up online.
I'm wrong. Because you about to get this treatment.
Reginald. Go ahead. The thing that you just looked up for Dr. Robert Malone. The first thing that came up. What did it call him?
How is that wrong?
What?
How is that wrong?
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. So how?
Google and be like, oh my God, this is wrong.
Is that any? How is that any different from what you just did? How is that any different from what you just did?
Websites you can pull up. You can.
Where can I go? Where can I go? You haven't brought up a single goddamn credible source at all. You haven't brought up a source at all. A source at all.
I'm going to DuckDuckGo.
Okay.
Right now. DuckDuckGo.
You can actually start off pretty easy. The spiel that you read off, the spiel that you just read off for Dr. Robert Malone. Where did you get that from?
Dr. Robert.
W. Malone.
Robert. Dr. Robert Malone.
The thing that you just read, where did you get that from?
Let's see.
Because I'm looking at the Atlantic, New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the top 5 I see is Washington Post.
Oh, I can search.
New York Times, Atlantic.
And what do they call him?
Atlantic calls him, he's a vaccine scientist, vaccine skeptic.
Mm-hmm.
New York Times, they
couldn't be a vaccine scientist and a vaccine skeptic, bro. That don't make okay. So
that doesn't make sense.
Okay, let's see, because that doesn't make sense. He's a vaccine scientist, but then a vaccine skeptic. Come on, bro. That's very. I mean, that's an oxymoron.
Okay. What
it is?
The fuck does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Like okay. He calls.
Obviously, there has to be some shady shit going on with why they don't want the real information about Dr. Robert Malone.
You can't just say that. He might be considered a scientist and doing science on vaccine. He can still be considered a skeptic.
It says Doctor. I'm on the New York Times. The title of this one says latest COVID misinformation star says
misinformation. You said
it says that he invented the vaccines. This is the title. This is the title that Davy Alba, she wrote.
Okay.
She said that I'm going down a little bit and says Joe Rogan Experience, one of the most popular podcasts in the country.
Yeah.
It says Dr. Malone.
And where is this from?
This is New York Times.
Yeah, New York Times, which has been highly compromised.
It said he sells himself on the shows as the inventor of mRNA vaccines,
which we know for a fact is not true. Which we know is not true.
So
technology for Pfizer that they use for their COVID-19 shots, and says he doesn't get the credit for the development of that.
Yeah.
So so he doesn't get the credit for the development. So is he saying that it doesn't work?
No, he's saying he invented it, and they're saying that he didn't. That's what he's saying.
He's saying that he made it.
We know for a fact that he's lying about that because he did not invent mRNA vaccines. We know exactly who the fuck did that.
This is what he helped worked on. This is what Dr. Robert Malone helped worked on.
And this is what she said that he sells himself as the inventor of that he helped invent the tech.
He doesn't. And see, this is what I liked about Joe Rogan podcast, because if you go to Spotify and you listen to the episode that he's on, which episode he's on, let me see. I can pull up right now which episode he's on, Dr. Robert. And you can listen to him say it himself rather than someone write an article.
Why would I believe him?
You don't have to believe him. Just listen to what his word says, man. You haven't even listened to this man speak one time. This is your first.
Why would that make him? Why would that make him a credible source? Why would that make him? Why does that make him a credible source in your eyes? You did listen to him and you believe him. Why does that make him a credible source to you?
You have to listen to the podcast.
That is not telling me anything. That is not just okay. So you just believe anything you hear. Is that what you're telling me? Because that gets us absolutely nowhere.
Just listen to the podcast. You don't even know who he is.
He could be going on there and saying a whole bunch of words that you've never heard before. But that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything.
It is.
What does that mean? I don't need to know what he looks like to think of him as credible.
Reggie. This is how this is going to tie back in. So this is how it's going to tie back into why Joe Rogan is for the people. Because we have people like Dr. Robert Malone, which the New York Times write a whole false article about him. But then this is what makes Joe Rogan podcast so unique, because he can bring on these people himself and they can speak for 3 hours and you can listen to them give credible information about who they are. They can bring up
you can do that on any podcast. Records. You can do that on any podcast.
You can do it. You can do that on any podcast. But Joe Rogan podcast is so big, it reaches a larger audience. And
okay, so that's what makes the difference. No, you're right. You're right. So why would anybody go on Joe Rogan and tell the truth? You seem to think that because he has a big audience, that's the chance to tell the truth. You can say that. You can do that from anywhere. Okay. So he's
telling. Okay, wait. Let me finish real quick, and I'll let you go. He's telling. All right, so Reggie brought up a New York Times article that was completely false. He's telling his side of the debate. So you can read the New York Times article, and then you can listen to his 3-hour podcast on who he is and how he can disprove all the information that the New York Times write about. We know the New York Times is corrupted.
How do we know that?
We know that they push propaganda.
How do we know that? That's just what you're saying. Those are just words that you're saying.
False information. They censor information. They brought up false information.
What does that tell you about anything?
And that's tying back to why Joe Rogan podcast is so unique, because they don't censor anything. They come to you with a full story about whatever they are. And there's many people
that does not prove that what people are saying is the truth. That does not prove what people are saying is the truth. So yeah, anybody can come on Joe Rogan's podcast and anybody can come on Joe Rogan's podcast and say
no. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't prove anything is true, but you can hear that person's side of the story, and then you can judge by that rather than reading what somebody else could say.
So if I do listen to somebody spreading this information and I say that that's false, why would that make Joe Rogan a credible source? That doesn't mean I go to Joe Rogan's podcast, listen to the person that's on there, and go, oh damn, that's a credible source. That is not what that means. Like, yeah, I can judge for myself, but I'm not a subject. You keep saying that, but the horse could be lying. The horse could be lying. You keep saying that. No, it is not up to me to determine what the truth is. It is not up to me to determine what the truth is. You cannot sit. You can listen to Joe Rogan's podcast. No.
You can read a New York Times.
You can listen to Joe Rogan's podcast.
And then you can listen to the person.
Why would that make Joe Rogan's podcast a credible source?
You can compile all the information that you receive.
That does not mean that you would be correct.
Rather than someone else telling you what to think and believe.
That does not mean that what you would come to would be correct.
Organization do.
Why do you keep walking over that? Why do you keep walking over that?
They tell you who the bad person is. They tell you why you shouldn't like this person. Yet you haven't really had a discussion to sit down. And Joe Rogan podcast gives you that ability to actually listen to this guy. Listen, not just to this guy, but other people he brought on about what's going on in the world. And you get to hear their side of it. So you can read one thing, and then you can hear this person's side of the argument. And then up to you, as someone who's a rational thinker, you can decide, okay, this sounds very compelling. Okay, he brought up this information to counter-reacted this information that was brought up. It's up to you as the viewer to decide, okay, this sounds very good. And that's why Joe Rogan podcast is for the people, because it gives you the ability, it gives you the power to decide what you're listening to or what you're seeing is true or not. We know news organizations they have an agenda. They have to push an agenda. You said it earlier that a lot of these news organizations are left-leaning. So if anybody comes on from the right and brings out information that discredit people on the left, they have a specific purpose to come out and to discredit them. Like this New York article that said that he was the inventor. He never calls himself the inventor. He says that he's developed patents for the mRNA vaccine that he's been working on since 1989. And he has a paper trail of 100 peer-reviewed articles that's been cited 12,000 times. That means people have looked into this and cited off of, okay, this information came from this peer review. I'm going to use this in my paper. It's been cited 12,000 times. Almost one of the most cited peer review journals.
According to who?
On this topic.
No. According to who? Who said that? Who gave that information? Was it Dr. Robert Malone?
No, it was somebody else that wrote an article about Dr. Robert Malone.
Did Dr. Robert Malone give him that information?
You can, okay, let's see, because the one thing about the internet, bro, is everything is at your fingertips.
Yeah, a bunch of correct information and a bunch of wrong information are all on the internet in equal measure. So if you no, you do not. No, you keep saying that. You keep walking over that. You do not.
Okay, Dr. Robert Malone.
I'm not. No. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
This is from.
I'm not doing this.
Squarespace. This is from Squarespace.com. It says he is currently a top editor for the Journal of Frontiers and Pharmacology in the area of treating COVID. This isn't coming from him. This is something that he said. This is like I said. Who gave
them that information? Who gave them that information? Oh, this is coming from Squarespace.com?
From him himself. He's the original inventor of the mRNA and DNA vaccine technology in 1989.
Who's reporting on this?
Including in vitro and in vivo.
You are still just reading stuff off.
Dr. Robert Malone
who
is
said
a
this?
Specialist in
clinical
research, medical affairs.
All right, and at that, I'm sorry. I'm cutting off because you
large giant contracts, vaccine and biodefense. This includes writing, developing, and reviewing manageable vaccines, bio threats, and biochemical trials and clinical development. He has been involved in developing, designing, and providing oversight of approximately 40 phase 1 clinical trials and 20 phase 2 clinical trials, as well as 5 phase 3 clinical trials. He has served as medical director, medical mentor on both phase 1, 2, and 3 of clinical trials, including those run at a well-known vaccine-focused clinical contract research organization.
You were still just reading words off of a screen. Principal
investor of some of these examples of his infectious disease pathogen.
You were still just reading words off a screen, and I would be willing to bet. You don't know what the fuck you're reading,
including HIV, influenza.
What are you reading?
Seasonal and pandemic.
What are you reading?
Anthrax, VEE/EEE, and WEEE. Tuberculosis, Ebola, Zika, bioluminescent toxin, and engineered pathogen. In many cases, these experience has included vaccine products developed, manufactured, and regulatory compliance and testing, manufacture, release, and clinical aspects. In most cases, his oversight responsibility has included clinical trial design, regulations, and ethical compliance, and laboratory asset strategy, design, and testing performance. This is all credible work that he has done.
This is just work that you are calling credible. You have just read words off of a paper. You have just read words off of a screen. You have read words off of a screen. You cannot call him an expert based off of words that you just read off of a screen.
I think I will be inclined to listen to what this man has to say.
Why?
He is the inventor of mRNA,
and you're going to read it again, and you're going to read it again, and you are going to read it all over again, like it's saying anything at all.
mRNA delivery, transfusion, and there we go. Everything you need to know. Inventor of in vivo.
I still don't know a source. I would imagine that's pretty important to know.
Particular for skin,
and there you go.
Like I said, you can look this up yourself.
No, sir.
Scientist with highly successful track record of leading bench and discovery research through the FDA phase 1, 2, and 3. So there are 3 phases in the clinical trial. He has oversight over all 3 phases of clinical trial, protocol development and submission, and related regulatory submission, including
I can do a clinical trial. Right? I can do a clinical trial. You can do a clinical trial if you wanted to. You can go through all 3 steps.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean to be accepted by the FDA. Are any of those FDA accepted? Are any of those were any of those patents FDA accepted?
Yes.
I do not believe you. I do not believe you.
That's fine. You don't have to believe me. I'm telling you, you can.
No. Where you getting the information from? Where you? Because you're just saying it. You're just saying it. You haven't said that. You haven't said that not once. But you just said yes right off the cuff. Where did you get that information from?
Obviously, I'm not making up none of this. There's no way I can make up any.
No. I think you're reading words. You are reading words off of a screen. That still does not tell me anything. So you just read anything on the screen, and you automatically believe.
Fostering a culture.
You're going to keep
innovative problem solving.
I'm sorry. Either officiate this shit, cut this shit off, or I'm cutting it off myself. Because all you're doing is reading.
Witness experience with extensive training from some of the top attorney law firms in the USA.
So why would you take his credit over, let's say, a Chinese scientists that's been working with COVID? What if they have something to say about it? What would make Dr. Malone more valid than like one of these Chinese scientists who's been working
100? Because 100% they have cited his information. Remember, he has developed the patents. If they have any research, they will go to him.
Do you know what a citation is?
And then they based all their research off of work that he has done.
Do you know what a citation is?
That's why I would trust Robert Malone over that Chinese scientist.
Do you know what a citation is?
Robert Malone is the leading expert in this case.
Do you know what a citation is?
He has invented patents.
Do you know what a citation is?
COVID vaccine.
I'll add a new question to you. Do you know what a citation is? Do you know what a patent is?
Information put into it.
Do you know what a citation is?
Edit clinical protocols.
Do you know what a citation is? You are still reading words off of a screen.
The Galloway Association. He has proposed development plague vaccines in the HHS technical diligence. So this is why I would be very mindful and listen to what Dr. Robert Malone says over what a lot of other people say who I know are compromised and to push a certain narrative.
You think China's compromised?
Oh, 100%. Because China isn't even a democratic Republican government. They are 100% communist. Therefore,
that's
President, President Z, so everything has to go through President Z before it's pushed out.
Okay.
So he has the last word. So these are free thinkers like Dr. Robert Malone, who, like I said, has the patents on all this. He even has a trial of safety and efficacy on hydroxychloroquine, which was another treatment that they tried to push out because remember, hydroxychloroquine was found like in the aquarium cleaning, and there were a couple people that they pushed the story out that these people had took this aquarium purify. It's like the little drops that you put in the aquarium. You know, if you have fishes, it had hydroxychloroquine. There was a paper pushed out about how they can utilize this in future vaccine trials, and he is one of the leading research on that himself. So
I'm looking at, because I went to search up the top cited.
You have not said a single thing in the last 5 minutes that has not been read off of the screen.
And I
ask you again. I ask you again.
Go ahead, Reggie. Go ahead, Reggie.
Because all the ones I see are from China. The top 100 ones. Well, not all of them, but like the most cited on the COVID. Because you said he was the top cited on COVID-19 or what?
No. On mRNA vaccine. So look up mRNA vaccine and then type in Dr. Robert Malone. And Reggie, man, you see how we have a healthy dialogue right there, man?
You are having
have to yell and curse at each other.
Incorrect dialogue. You still have not proven a single thing you said.
This is because
No. Calm dialogue. Calm dialogue does not mean. Okay. Yep.
We all get.
Cut it off.